I'm going to do create your own omelette.
Okay.
Can I please do that with...
Get ready.
This is going to be like the longest list of veggies you've ever seen. Can I please do egg whites? Do you have Canadian bacon here or is it just turkey bacon?
It's just the turkey.
I'll do turkey bacon, broccoli, tomato, baby spinach, green peppers, jalapeno peppers. I think you guys have fire roasted red peppers on your menu as
Yes,
well,
we do.
the red peppers. Sliced tomato and
Okay,
an
so
English muffin.
tomato and an English muffin?
Yes. Can I ask a favour? Would you be able to, so normally when they're doing the omelette, they'll kind of do it all together. Makes sense, it's an omelette. Would you be able to have the chefs do all of the veggies kind of just stir fried, like on the side?
If they can't, is it okay? if it
Yeah,
goes
that's
inside?
fine. I would,
Okay.
if they have the option, I'd absolutely do that. If not, that's
Sure
fine.
thing.
And I would be the same, no oil or butter. I don't mind if it's a bit dry.
On anything, correct? So,
Yeah.
like,
Alrighty, guys. You can see that was really, really challenging. Honestly, I think I've made this order so many times, it doesn't bother me. So, first up,
Bothers me. I'm just kidding.
it bothers everybody else except for me.
No, we've done this so many times, but I always have to chime in to the waiter. I'm just like, she means well. She just wants a lot of vegetables. I wish we could have filmed the waiter's reaction
I
because he
know.
was, you could tell he was a little stressed out. Did you notice? He was just like, okay, let me just read this
Just let me
back.
read it
It's
one more
so
time.
complicated. I was like,
There's a reason that I do it like this. First off, like typically if you go out for breakfast, like you're not going to get veggies. Like, and I normally wouldn't, but I'm prepping and I don't like feeling starving, ravenous, hungry. So it's just an easy way to kind of fill up your tummy, stay full.
you will have a little distension. in
Yeah,
your
I'm going to
waist,
walk out with a food baby.
But if it's less calories, it's worth it.
It is. So like truly, when you see this omelette come out, this whole breakfast is only 390 calories. So key substitution here is getting egg whites or an egg beater. So for those that aren't in America, this is like a specialty ingredient that I knew nothing about
They
until
don't
I
have
came
egg
here.
beaters?
Egg beaters do not exist in Australia. It's just, you can get the carton egg white, but that's it. Like there's nothing that looks like egg. So this egg beater product is literally just an egg substitute. It's yellow. It has the same kind of consistency as like when you've beaten an egg, and it's fat-free. That's the key substitution. Then I still want some more protein in my meal. So I don't want to have regular bacon because that's going to be incredibly high in fats. So turkey bacon or Canadian bacon generally are the best fat-free or low-fat products.
Canadian bacon, a little bit more low fat than
yeah.
turkey bacon.
Yeah, a couple grams for a serving less. So there's another few hundred calories that you didn't need. And then, so no butter and oil. That was the other main thing. I think most chefs want you to enjoy the food, and not that many people enjoy dry food.
Yeah,
Last
they
time
don't
I
cook
checked.
to fit your macros.
No,
they
they're
cook
not.
to
Fit your belly.
get a good rating.
Yes. So a little, just ask for no oil. And like this guy, he came back and he's like, it'll stick to the pan. Can we use a bit of spray?
Let's talk about though how awkward people feel asking for no oil or butter.
Yeah.
Like people feel the pressure of like, I don't want to impose too much because no one wants to make the waiter's job like more confusing. But I've had clients who are like,
I feel so
I feel
guilty doing
awkward
it.
if I bring my food scale, or I feel awkward if I'm the one who asks for like, a lot of substitutions. But at the same time, if you're prioritizing a lot of your fat loss goals and you're going to go out to eat, then you have to be ready to make those sacrifices.
Yeah, what are the alternatives? You eat something that's significantly higher in calories, and you're not going to hit your macros. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Or you stay home and you have the comforts of weighing out and measuring everything if you're working towards a fat loss goal. So I don't want to do that.
I think it's good practice because how many times have you just built the habitual routine of when you go out to eat, you can pick whatever you want. You go for like the most calorie dense meal. It's hard to kind of pull back when you have so many options in front of your face, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you come to a restaurant, you're like, ooh, what am I going to get? I'm going to get like the best thing on the menu.
And I truly would like to. They have really good
They have good stuffed French
stuff.
toast here.
Stuffed French toast.
Anything
here.
stuffed. It's a turtle French toast.
Yes.
Caramel, Nutella, chocolate.
It's got all the good
walnuts.
stuff. And they dip it, I guess they
Cream
soak
cheese.
it in eggs and cinnamon.
Custard.
Yeah, so it's like a French toast consistency.
Delicious.
I would like to get that, but I also know like I've got a brownie planned for later today. I've got some good stuff to show you guys. I like to call this dirty dishwater. I'm not sold on American coffee. I still miss my good old
I agree. Honestly, I
cappuccino
agree.
or latte. So guys, I really planned ahead today and mapped everything out because my calories are getting tough. Splenda for sure. I also packed this because I didn't want to be without sweetener for my coffee. I wouldn't drink it. It's dishwater. It already tastes terrible. So Splenda, and I packed my Quest salted caramel for the win, just to have with each coffee. I also packed conveniently my condiments because I'm a freak. You've seen this before. It comes in 3 different types. I have a hot and a extra hot. I've been pushing the mild a bit lately, but I've got some other spicier ones at home, and I've just ordered a heap of new low FODMAP condiments. So I think I got like 10 different flavors of sauce because I get flavor fatigue real easy during condis prep. Like it's already hard enough, so you want something that's exciting.
Flavor fatigue.
Flavor fatigue.
How do you make that sound so like technical? It's an actual thing. It's called flavor fatigue.
It's called flavor fatigue. Right now, when I don't have a lot of enjoyable high-calorie foods, I'm looking for diversity to stay on task because it's hard.
She's a flavor slut.
Yes.
She needs a lot of diversity. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry.
She's so inappropriate. This girl.
Why do I gotta take it that far?
Always good to take it one step too far, Teresa.
Anyways.
So yeah, A.P.D is the brand that I use. So yeah, A.P.D, F-O-D-Y. You can get them from Amazon. I think they are a little bit expensive. They're like $9 for a jar, but it's a bigger than normal condiments bottle. It's probably this size, whatever that is in mils. I don't know, but you don't need a lot of them. They're very salty, strong flavor. But I got like, I guess Korean barbecue, tomato ketchup, teriyaki, chimichurri. Is that what is it? Chimichurri. Again, chimichurri. I don't know. This America, but again, garlic and onion free. So I have all of these specialty sauces that I've been killing lately. So guys, they did bring out the omelette, and he made a boo-boo, or someone back there made a boo-boo, which is fine. I don't care.
This always happens. Though.
Truly, they can't get it all right. So I'm going to start by enjoying my my veggies. It's a little less voluminous as I would have at home. Honestly, I'd probably normally eat 3 times the amount of vegetables, but it's a good start. If I was to estimate how much is actually here, I'm going to say that I've probably got about 120 grams of tomato, and then this is probably combined cooked veggies, maybe 200 grams max. So again, I'm going to go and make a little bit of a modification to what I thought was coming out. Normally I'd have my food scale, but I left it at home this morning. I was rushing to get to the gym and I completely forgot. I remembered all my condiments, forgot the main thing, the food scale.
This came out okay. I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I got the Greek omelet, so it's all egg whites. There's spinach, tomatoes, and then asked for the feta on the side so that you can actually measure that out. Turkey bacon, and then some tomato slices instead of the potatoes.
All right, I'm going to salt it up, guys. A lot of salt here. Salt is life, as is pepper. And I'm probably going to enjoy that. A little bit of mustard, just for good luck. And that's how you order out when your egg omelette arrives. So it's a lot smaller than I was planning. That's my fault. I usually ask for like 7 egg whites. I like protein. Just looking at this, let me just pick it up just for shits and giggles. Probably weighs like 130 grams or so. So we'll just make that modification. Updated my app, so this has actually become a significantly lower calorie meal, which is kind of cool. It means I get more ice cream at my dessert later tonight. We're back down at 26 grams of protein, 38 carb, and 6 fat for what you just saw. I did pack some trusty Laughing Cow cream cheese. This is significantly lower fat than anything that I'd be able to get here, and I do like cheese. So that's going to make for a nice sandwich. And we'll create a nice little brekkie sandwich. The cream cheese just makes it all that much better. That is meal one. It is hitting 12:40 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a little bit later than when I normally have my first meal, but not that far off what's normal for me. So one meal down, not enough protein. I'm probably going to go home and have some more of this. I don't know, but I still do have 4 more really nice meals and snacks to share with you. So you'll soon see. Okay guys, so I'm back at the office and it is snack time and I'm gonna enjoy my break with some popcorn. So this is probably the reverse order of how I would normally have this. This would honestly, and Brian and I were actually just talking about this off camera, this would be my wind down at the end of the night, which it's real. I don't wind down. I work until I literally get in bed. So this would be like me sitting on the laptop working and eating. But this is a low fat popcorn. The macros are phenomenal. I think for just the bag, minus what I'm about to show you, I think it's about 2 grams of protein, 23 grams of carbohydrate, and I'm gonna guess like 2 grams of fat. It's awesome. So these are like the 100-calorie bag popcorns. It's probably a little bit more when we account for the fiber. And that's the other thing. So this is really high in dietary fiber as well. So for this bag of popcorn, it has about 4 grams of fiber. It's the insoluble type, just so that you know. So I'm going to be adding spice today. So shout out to Icon Meals. I'm going to be shouting out a bunch of their products over the coming weeks. They do another brand or another flavor. So this is cinnamon honey butter seasoning. It is awesome. And they also have another one called coconut cream pie, which are kind of on their sweeter side. So it still has calories, guys. Now it says on the label 0 calories, which is wonderful, but the serving size is 0.71 of a gram. Now, one shake is probably 0.7 of a gram. So I'm actually going to track this as about 4 grams of carbohydrate for a 4 gram serving. So if I was doing this back in the kitchen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up on the scale and I'm going to shake and weigh out this because it's not calorie free and it's very easy to go overboard because it tastes so good. So today this is going to be my afternoon snack. It's going to round me up to another 142 calories. This is the next meal that I've had after that breakfast that you just saw. It doesn't contain any protein, so I'll probably try and have a slightly earlier dinner today so that I'm not having a huge extended gap where I have no protein. So I think my last meal will probably wrapping up breakfast at like 12:30, which sounds crazy to think, but my dinner will probably be very early today, and I would say it's going to be about 5 or 5:30. That way I'm kind of evenly distributing my protein intake, or as best as I can, to help optimize muscle hypertrophy, so building muscle. We don't want to have long extended breaks because essentially that means that there is going to be several hours then in the day where there is no signaling or optimal signaling take place. In the last video I did with a full day of eating, I kind of explained to you the principles of the refractory period, whereby we adhere to our total daily protein intake. That's very important. But then we want to make sure that, every 2 or 3 hours, probably 3 hours, you allow your blood leucine levels to kind of fall back to baseline. And then you want to have another large protein bolus. So take it back up, maximally signal those muscle building mechanisms, and it will stay elevated for another 3 or 4 hours. Adding in more protein within, 2 to 3 hours doesn't increase it any further. It's already switched on, and then we want to let it kind of sit back down to baseline, and then you go again. So today is not quite a perfect day for me, but I will do my very best to kind of spread it out, spread my protein intake out for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm gonna get after my popcorn and finish doing my client check-ins. Okay guys, so I have just gotten home from work. It is currently just after 7 o'clock and I have definitely not planned out my meals very well today, but I'm about to put together a waffle, which is going to be made with some cheese, bacon, and maple syrup. So it's kind of like a sweet savory waffle. This is a homemade recipe. So I will give you guys the recipe. I'm going to have this, and then I still have about 3,000 or 4,000 steps Hey, there's Robert. I still have about 3 or 4 1,000 steps that I've got to get in, kind of hit my daily target. So it is a tropical hurricane season here for Florida. So I'm actually expecting there to be a lot more rain. It's going to be pouring, I can tell, in a few minutes here. So I'm going to actually head out to the gym again, just to walk for 30 minutes to kind of get those steps in so that I don't get soaked with rain. Stay safe. Hey, buddy. And then I'm going to come back and probably have my dinner and dessert with Lane, which will be after we put the kids down to bed. So let's get stuck into this waffle. I'm super excited to share all this with you. So I'll turn the camera around and go through the ingredients. This is my favorite cat. Despite how cool he looks right now, he often just kind of lays like this. This cat is way cooler. Such a lazy cat. Hey, buddy. Oh, hey. I miss you today. Love these cats. I'm such a cat lady. All right, so here is, I guess, the mixture that I have just carefully concocted. My waffle maker has just gone off. So this is the best waffle maker ever. I used to just have a single one, but the 4 is awesome. It was a little bit more expensive. It's pretty heavy set, but man, this thing is awesome. So that's just told me it's ready. My ingredients are, I guess, for the foundations, we've got some self-raising flour, a little bit of coconut flour, Outwork Nutrition's vanilla protein product, some sweetener, and then for the raising agents, I've got this fresh, brand new baking powder, guys. This is the key secret to making things rise. If you've had one of these in your cupboard for a little while, you're not going to have the same raising effect. So make sure that this stays fresh if you're baking. Then I've got a mixture of the egg beaters and egg whites together. And then for the liquids, I've got a little bit of vanilla, not a huge amount because it's going to be a sweet and savory waffle. And then a splash of this Quest, and I'll put the macros up on the screen. So that is going to be going into the waffle maker, and then I'm going to be serving that with some Canadian bacon, which is super lean. You can see that that's only 1.5 grams of fat for a 50-gram serve. This is fat-free sliced cheese, which is going to melt real good on my waffle. And then I've also got this Laughing Cow light cream cheese, which you guys saw me use earlier today, which is very low in fat. So that's the concoction before I go and get my walking in. Okay, guys, so I just scraped that out with a spatula. That's kind of how full it's looking. And I'm going to put that lid down and hopefully it doesn't explode out the back. Just be careful. This is our happy spot right here in the kitchen. Cook, Waffle, cook. What up, girl?
Look how they have new rain boots.
You've got new rain boots on. That really goes well with your mermaid tail. We still haven't taken the decorations down from Robert's birthday last weekend. Oh my God.
Here, honey, I have to cut it.
They're beautiful. I love how they flash. Anyways, back to this waffle. So there it is. I'm just going to slice this cheese. Actually, no, I need 2 hands for this, guys. See, this is the problem when you're vlogging. You can't do things that you would normally do. Let me just put that down for a sec. Okay, mate. I understand you're hot. So anyway, here is my waffle. I'm just going to fold that over here. Slice it in half, drizzle it in some reduced fat, there's a shadow there, some reduced fat maple syrup, and I will show you the end product. There it is. That damn waffle machine just keeps letting me know it's hot. I'm going in with some Carey's sugar-free maple syrup. This is the Lowell one that I found just at the supermarket. I've run out of the Walden's Farm, but it's 3 grams of carbs for 30 mils, which is about what I put on here. So I am going to enjoy that before I go for a walk. Okay, guys, so I know that you have already seen my breakfast this morning. You've seen my waffle. it's now a new day. As you will see, I'm really struggling to do these full day in one day. So I actually did film this for you guys the other night just as a vlog. And I looked back over the footage. I'm like, no one's going to want to see that. It's like 11:45 at night. And I'm like, it's just how my day goes. Like I have the best intentions and then something comes up and it's 10 o'clock at night. So we're back in the middle of the day, but this was going to be my dinner and I'm actually going to have it for lunch, or actually this will be my first meal for today. So what I have here is a bunch of, I guess, all of my favorite veggies. And I laugh when I look at all this because I used to hate vegetables. Like if my mum was watching this, she'd be like, who are you? Because she had to like force feed vegetables. But I think that the problem is, like, obviously as you get older, your taste buds adapt and change a little bit. And I think I've also, you know, with all of the competition background and history competing, it's kind of forced my hand towards foods that I didn't particularly care for when I was young. So I've had to experiment with vegetable combinations. I've had to experiment with flavor. Like, how can I make this taste good, but also have very, very few calories? So if anything, I'm very grateful for the experiences that I have had as a competitor, because I probably wouldn't eat anywhere near as many vegetables, truly. Even thinking back to like when I was, you know, doing my undergraduate and my master's in dietetics, like you would assume that I was a vegetable lover back then. No, 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 no. Sorry, this is very recent, within like the last probably 5 to 7 years, that I've adapted more of a voluminous style of eating. So what I'm preparing here today is going to be probably under 300 calories for my dinner. It's going to be this veggie medley, and this is the most exciting part of my day. So I just ordered myself a new zoodler. So essentially you can do this with any kind of veggie. So this was a yellow squash. I actually already used up all my zucchini this week, but I want to show you because I was hesitant. I was so skeptical about getting a noodling machine, because you know how, ladies, you know what it's like. You buy like a donut machine, or you buy like some fancy pan or a waffle maker with the best intentions, like an ice cream maker. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to use it. And then it just sits in your cupboard and you never use it. So when I was like, oh, do I really want to get this spiraler, zoodler, slicer, whatever, I took the plunge, and I freaking love it because it is so super simple. So it kind of comes detached, and it's got quite a few different like, I guess, pieces on it. So you can create all these fancy little shapes. So like, you know, when you go to a restaurant and they've got these beautifully carved veggies that sit as like a side salad, it's usually decoration. So they give you a couple of these different attachments, which can clip away safely. So really all you do is this bit here kind of comes out. It sits in like that. It's got this really super simple handle, which just slides on and it moves. You put in your blade, which just sits in like this. And I don't have any veggies left to show this with you, so it's super convenient. I really planned this out well. But like, you would just sit your zucchini, you push it into the end, you slice the two clean edges off your zucchini or whatever, carrot, and push it into this blade. You put the other end here. It's got a non-slip sticky grip on the bottom so that it doesn't slide off your bench. And it clips down, and you just wind it and push a little bit, and then before you know it, voila, it's so easy. So I'm happy with this purchase, and I know that I will probably use it for many other things. I'm going to give it a go with like beetroots. So I've never bought fresh beetroots, like never. I buy the canned ones. So that'll be my next challenge. I'm adopting all these new behaviors. So anyway, right, let's get stuck into this. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh out all these veggies because I've got quite a few. So I'll put the big bowl in the center. So I'm using carbon to kind of log everything today. So I've got 200 grams of yellow squash. I feel like I'm going to have to start with that bowl because this one's going to be a lot. So, ooh. Here we go, 140. Probably going to get through all of this almost. Perfect. Oh my goodness, yeah. There is our 200 grams of squash. So that's, yes, this is one meal. Sit that there. I've got 50 grams of red cabbage. So this was just a whole cabbage. And at the beginning of the week, I just kind of do a full prep. I chop all my veggies so it's a little bit easier and more manageable when I'm rushing to get to work in the middle of the week. So we'll take a little bit out. That'll do, 50 grams. Pop that in there. I've got 50 grams of bell peppers, so just a mixture of different colours. We'll put a handful of those in. Perfect. Here we go. We've got cherry tomatoes. I'm going to keep those whole for now. They kind of create a little bit of, like, it looks nice on the plate. I would probably prefer to eat them when they're sliced. However, we're all about presentation here, guys, so we'll do that instead. Here is our 50 grams of cherry tomatoes. Green onions, 10 grams. Perfect. Shishito peppers. They are not something that I had previously cooked with. I just saw these randomly one day in the store, took a look and was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. If they blow my face off because they're so hot, my bad. But they're actually very mild. They're not spicy at all, not like a jalapeno pepper. So yeah, I think they kind of use these in like different banana peppers and like mustard. So I've got a few different sauces that actually have these in them. So that's kind of where I got that idea. And I have some that I chopped earlier. So we'll put those in. What have I got? 20 grams of these guys. Perfect. And then, lucky last, is our cod. So it is a nice white, fairly flaky, mild fish. This is a deep sea fish in nice cold waters. You can find this, I guess, in both northern and southern parts of the Atlantic Ocean. And you also can catch this like pretty much across the Pacific Ocean as well. But they're a deep sea fish, very low in fat. So for a 150 gram fillet, it's basically 1 gram of fat, but also 26 grams of protein. So I'm actually going to have a slightly bigger serve for my lunch meal because this is going to be my first meal. So we'll weigh out these 2 fillets. What do we got here? 137. I think we're going to be at 245. Let's just see what that takes my protein up to if I have all of that for this meal. So that'd sit me at 45 grams of protein. So I'm actually really happy with that. Over to preparing the fish. This couldn't be more simple. This whole dish, honestly, because I've already got everything prepped, this is going to take me 20 minutes. Like it's fast. So we'll take these 2 fillets. Thankfully, they are of similar thickness. Often, if you've got 2 different pieces of fish that are a different thickness, they're going to cook at different speeds, and then that sucks because one of your fish is really, really nice and tender and the other one's dry as fuck. So try and match your fillet thickness if you're going to be cooking them together, or take the thinner one out ahead of time. So for these, I'm just going to keep it really simple. Lots of salt. I really like red chili peppers, so I'm going to be putting some of that on there. Just a little bit of mixed peppers or peppercorns. And then lemon. You could use fresh lemon, but I tend to not really ever use lemon enough for me to have like beautiful fresh lemons laying around the house. It's just, I cut one in half and then they just sit in the fridge. So it's like limes, you know, you're like, yeah, I'll use those limes for my beers, and then they just stay in the fridge. So lemon juice it is out of a jar. And then I'm going to be using my preferred butter substitute. So this is the I can't believe it's not butter. So for a 1 tablespoon serving, which is 14 grams, we're looking at 35 calories. So it's 4 grams of fat. If this was regular real deal butter, like the salted nice variety, this would probably have about 13 grams of fat. So a really simple substitute. But to be honest, I think because I've been using it for so long now, like I don't notice like the taste difference. It makes it a little bit more challenging if you're baking with it. Because it doesn't have the fat content, it doesn't hold things together like butter would, or give it that nice, soft, finished product. But it's fine for the purposes of fish and for the stuff that I use it for. So I'm going to go in and probably put about maybe 7 or 8 grams of, well, that'll be 10. So we'll just split that in two. Just going to sit that on there and we'll let it melt over the top. Lovely jubbly. Wash my hands. And a bit of pepper. Bit of salt. Nice and salty. I'm going to turn into a salt cube at some point in my life, I'm convinced. Bit of pepper. And I'm also going to season my veggies with a little bit of this as well. And then drizzle over, or at least let it sit in some of this lemon juice. There we go. So I'm just going to bake that for probably about 15 minutes. I think these will, because they're not very thick. I'll do a bit of a test at the maybe 10-minute mark and just see how they're coming along. I do have a thermometer. Hopefully it's going to be somewhere around the 137 to 145 internal temperature. I hope that that's right. I'm going to double check that. But that's usually the cooked sign for your food. So I'm going to pop that in. The oven's set at 380 and this will be done soon, and then I'll prep the veggies. And you go, little boy. Okay, so vegetables. I don't really need to tell these on just yet because they're not going to take 15 minutes, but I've just got some buttered flavoured spray. You can use any kind of spray oil that you like just to help the veggies from stopping to stick. And I also forgot to add in my kale, so I have some kale diced in here as well. So this is going to be quite the feast. That is an entire fry pan of veggies for yours truly, and this is why I stay full for a long time. So yeah, I'm just going to season that up with some salt and the chili flakes, a little bit of pepper, and then yeah, when my fish is cooked, I'm probably just going to serve that on top. And then if I've got any other dressings or anything that I want, let's see how we go. I'll share with you those. Speaking of sauces, let's just go through and have a look at some of the things that I have in my fridge. Bolthouse Farm. These quickly became a favourite because they have several varieties that are under 45 calories or 45 calories for a 30-gram serve. So these only have somewhere like, 2 to 3 grams of fat compared to like a regular Caesar for the same quantity. Would have about 13 to 15 grams because it's made with, full cream, regular butter. It's got all the works in it, but these are so low in calories. So this is a great brand if you guys are looking for some dressings and things to kind of add some flavour. I probably wouldn't use these on a dish when I'm making a stir fry, but for salads to make those taste better, and like maybe a handful of wonton chips or something on top, some fat-free cheese, like just an ounce or so, makes a difference to the taste and texture of your salad. This is another brand that I use quite a bit of, so the poppy seed one. This is the only one that, this has garlic and onion. There's a couple of them. I think the raspberry vinaigrette doesn't have any garlic and onion, but if for those of you that don't have IBS and don't have problems with garlic and onion, their whole range is very low calorie. So this is only 10 calories for a serve. So they've got a few. Another one that I found, again, this isn't something that I would use a lot of because it does contain my favourites, garlic and onion. But if that is not you and it doesn't bother you, this is only 30 calories. And again, this is fat-free. It's got 6 grams of carbohydrates, a good one that you can dip your fish in, maybe use it like a tartar sauce, salad dressing. You could dip your sweet potato fries in it instead of the real deal thick and creamy. Panera bread. So again, this is an American brand. I guess Panera is a common fast food chain here, but this one is only 25 calories. and it is to a poppy seed. And then the last two are really good for poke bowls or fish. So I've got a balsamic glaze and this poke sauce. So these are not something that I use all the time, but I mean today for decoration and just for a little bit of flavor, I would use this over like my veggies, or if I'm making a salad with some like strawberries or something with cheese, this would be really good because it's kind of sweet. And then, yeah, I make ahi tuna poke bowls all the time with like edamame, sweet corn, lettuce, cauliflower, rice, you know, all the good stuff, cilantro, cucumber, avocado. This is where it's at, guys. These are definitely a handful of the ones that I use all the time. And then the other thing I wanted to quickly show you was if you're too lazy to make noodles, which I have thousands of these in my fridge because it was only yesterday that I got my zoodler. This was an alternative that I was using. So this is your zucchini spiral. So again, it's trying to kind of mimic pasta. So I've made like a marinara with this before. So I've used like prawns, fresh prawns with like a marinara sauce, parmesan cheese, and this is instead of the spaghetti. And you can really just go ham with whatever you want with this. So the key is to drain away all the liquid because it does, like, this is now defrosted and I can feel it's quite watery. That is why I decided I was kind of over the watery mess, which is why I got the zoodler, because it's like so fresh, you don't have to worry about any of that. But a really good alternative if you are just wanting some creativity and fun with your foods while dieting. So there's that. So hopefully my lunch is cooked by now. I feel like it's almost ready and we'll go check it out. Okay guys, so I just did a quick search and I was actually a little over. I'm used to cooking meat, red meat, and I love like a medium rare steak. So that's the temperature that I'm looking for my steaks. But it says cod, it said remove it at 120. So this little temperature gauge, it's going to be over 114, 120. Oh yeah, it's cooked. Oh no, 125. Okay, so it's not too bad. So that's done, and it's going to continue to cook a little while it's sitting here because it's still got the hot elements around it. But yeah, it looks really good and it smells pretty good. In order to take me through to the end of the full day of eating to get to my macro targets, which are 1642 at the moment, I'm going to be making you guys a chocolate Reese's peanut butter brownie. So it's very, very delicious. I've had it several times before, and I'm going to be making it in the air fryer. So it's super quick, really easy. It's high in protein, which is most important. Like it's very difficult, I think, to get a nice flavorful dessert, but it's also really high in protein and doesn't have all the fat. It's like under 10 grams of fat. So this is really, really good. So guys, there you have it. This will be my dinner, or today is going to be my lunch. But that looks just delicious. So all up, this comes in at a whopping 45 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbohydrate. Actually, no, I lie. I've got to put the kale in. Can't forget that. 21 grams of carbohydrate and 1 gram of fat. Now, I haven't included the butter yet, so I've got to put that in, but that's going to take it up by, what did I use? 10 grams of the I can't believe it's not butter. That's going to add under 3 grams. So this is 4 grams of fat and 21 grams of carbohydrate and 46 grams of protein in total, which is a 200 and just under 300 calories for a main meal. And look how much food I get to eat. And this is so super tasty. So I hope you like this one, guys. I put all the recipes up for you. I actually also want to give you a ingredients list. So hopefully it's something that you can copy the link and it'll show you all the ingredients of everything that you need to make this full day, so that you can just tick it off as you're going through the grocery store. Or if you've already got it at home, you can mark it off and you know which ones you've still got to buy. So I'll do that for you, but this is definitely a winner. I've also made this with the beef mince in my last video, and just served the beef over the squash or the zucchini noodles, and it kind of was like a pasta but equally delicious. So that would be another variation of this meal that I would make just to keep life guessing. Okie dokie guys, so the brownie, the best part, obviously, dessert, but truly, I definitely am not the person that sticks by the rules. I will eat anything, any meal at any time of the day. So if I want sweets at breakfast, I will have sweets at breakfast. It doesn't matter. So, especially because this one is also really high in protein. So if you need a big dose of protein in the morning, you feel like having a brownie, y'all, this is the brownie for you. So it comes out at 288 calories total, which is amazing. 27 of which is protein, 30 grams of carbohydrate, and 6.5 grams of fat. So we're going to need 15 grams of all-purpose flour. We're going to use our whey protein, which is chocolate, since we're making a chocolate brownie. But the other time when I made this, or other times when I've made this, I've used the vanilla and I've just added in like a really dark cocoa powder. And I'm still going to add a little bit of this today just to make it really nice and rich, like a real brownie. So we're going to use 15 grams of this. We're going to use the cookie butter, which is, Holly, where'd y'all put it? There it is on the phone. So this is my good buddy, Zach Rochelou's product. He has a bunch of different flavors, and this is what I mixed into my Greek yogurt the other day. Not this particular flavor, but obviously there's thousands of different flavors. We are going to be coming out with this product here very soon as well, so that you guys can support us along our journeys. So I'm going to be putting in 10 grams of this product. We've got some powdered sweetener. So I'm going to use about 10 grams of this, and this is the package that it comes in. It's just the home brand version. There's so many different types of this. It's really up to you what your preference is. I like to use sucralose because it's very easy on my GI, but some people prefer to use some of the artificial, like the aspartame, stevia. There are so many, so it's up to you. Baking powder. This is a brand new fresh baking powder. 2 grams. I'm going to be putting in 25 grams of fat-free Greek yogurt. We're going to be using some low-fat pancake syrup. So I've got the Carey's variety and 15 mils. But again, whatever you've got is totally fine. It might vary the macros a little bit if you've got a full maple syrup, but try to get one of the light ones if possible. And then we're going to use 25 mil of egg beaters. So this is instead of using a whole egg. Again, I'm trying to keep the fats down. This has a lot of kind of binding, thickening agents in it, so it really does a good job of replicating an actual egg yolk to help with binding. We're going to use some chocolate chips and some Reese's chips. So here we're going to use 10 grams of these baking chips and 10 grams of the Reese's peanut butter cups. So kind of a few things scattered on the table here, but it comes together. Like, this is stuff that I just always have on hand because I do a lot of cooking and I like sweets, and these go in everything and anything. So yes, this is probably the one time where I'm like, there's more than 10 ingredients in this. Sorry. Okay. So I put a little bit of extra cocoa powder in there, and I was also a little heavy-handed with one of the flours. So it's a little thicker than I was hoping it to look. So I'm just going to use the Quest, and I'm going to put in an extra 25 mils just of the Quest to make sure that it is not too thick. So we'll drop that in there. So you don't need to do this, but again, it depends on whether you want a really gooey brownie or whether you want a more of like a set brownie. I don't like cake texture. I hate sponge cake. Just doesn't sound appealing to me. I definitely like it a little soft in the center and kind of underbaked. And because we're not using anything that's unpasteurized here, it's perfectly safe to eat it a little undercooked. But if you're using like real eggs that aren't pasteurized, then you're going to increase your risk of getting some kind of salmonella, and you don't want that. So this is fine though. All right, so in order to cook this little bad boy, I have preheated the air fryer at 300 degrees and looks to be ready. So I'm going to take these little tiny, I guess, springform tins. I'm going to grease it just with some a light spray, and then we're going to pop that in, spin the mixture in. I'm going to cook it for 4 minutes. And then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to flip it over. So it's going to be still quite soft, so you have to be delicate with it when you do this. It just helps it cook evenly. And then once you've flipped it, I'm going to go ahead and decorate the top with the extra Reese's that I didn't use. I only put 5 grams in here. We'll keep this 5 grams out for the decoration. And then once it's cooked, I'll cook it through for another, 6 minutes. And then we serve it with our Reese's chopped. So let's do it. And we're going to put it in. Cook, little boy, cook. Cool. Let's wait. I really want to lick this. Would you be offended? Who doesn't do this? Ooh. Yeah. This is going to be a really good brownie. Alrighty guys, so I'm probably going to mess this up. It's about, so I've just grabbed some parchment paper and sprayed the table so that it stays down. So we'll start off by just gently tapping that. Now I'm going to respray the pan just so you don't get anything sticking. Now this is still pretty soft, so you can see how delicate that is. So just, oh damn, see, never get it perfect. All right, well Brian, you're going to be eating a slightly sideways looking. There you go guys, caught me on camera. All right, so we'll sprinkle this, these chips over the top. Okay. Not today, folks, not today. And then I'm going to put that back in and we'll finish it cooking. So that's going to go in there for another 6 minutes and it'll be done. To finish this off, we are just going to take, let me just weigh these out. So it's meant to be 10 grams. So these Reese's cups are actually 10 grams, but so if you want to follow the exact recipe, just use 1. But I'm going to be really nice and give Brian, who's going to eat this too. So just for decoration. And I will have to tell him the macros. And we're going to serve it with some vanilla ice cream. So my preferred vanilla ice cream flavor or brand is the Breyers Low Carb or Carb Smart. It is truly the lowest of all of the ice cream products, and they don't try to put too much protein in there. A couple of the companies, like their claim is, well, it's high in protein, but I'm like, I don't necessarily need protein in my ice cream. I get it from everything else. I just want it lower in fat and carb. So that's actually my favorite, and they have 2 different varieties. One is slightly higher in fats, lower in carbs, or the reverse. So I don't have any of that today, so I'm just going to go ahead, and this is what I've tracked for you guys. So I've put in 50 grams of French vanilla, this blue ribbon, and that comes out at 86 calories. So combined with a brownie, one of the Reese's, and this ice cream, it is a 374 calorie dessert. It's 28 grams of protein, 44 grams of carbs, of which 15 grams is coming from this ice cream, and then 10 grams of fat. So very macro friendly. So now, because these are spring form, it makes it just a little bit easier to get them out. And just because I've said that, it's probably not going to be. Yeah, no, we're just going to tip this upside down. There we go. Pop that in the bin. And look at that. Don't want to leave behind any of these goodies. Sprinkle over your little Reese's. And we will get out our ice cream serving. $50 grams does not go far. Perfect. Did I get it right? 48 grams. We'll take it. Thank you, folks. That was awesome. So that is my little, I guess, end of day dessert, which I have a lot. So yeah, my calories are 1642. You've seen my giant breakfast when we went out this morning. You've seen my mid snack. That was a waffle, like a cream cheese, bacon, maple syrup, two-sided sandwich waffle. You've seen my cod. You've seen the popcorn that I had at the office yesterday, and then finishing it off with a brownie. So contest prep doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be bland. You just have to be willing to invest a little bit of time. And honestly, like, this is so tasty. Like, I probably don't deviate too far from this from week to week. I might change things up for one meal or something like that. But yeah, I think I kind of get a bit of flavor fatigue after 1 or 2 weeks of eating the same kind of thing. And then I'll go and research a bunch of new recipes. And then I've got another couple of weeks of enjoyment. So guys, I have so many recipes in my recipe guide. So I have 2 books. One is the Complete Contest Prep Recipe Guide. Honestly, most of those recipes were developed during my prep series, to make sure that they are tasty and they're enjoyable and they've been made. They work. They're good. And then I also have my If It Fits Your Macros. So that one has 50 different recipes. The Contest Prep Recipe Guide has over 100. They are categorized. They tell you the brands that I recommend in both the USA and Australia. Obviously, my background, I'm from Australia, so I've done a list of the products over there too that I recommend. And hopefully that will keep you on track with your contest prep, or if you're just dieting for fat loss, it gives you some really good ideas. They're not expensive. They're super simple. And I think you're really going to like them. So that's another day of eating, guys. I hope you enjoyed these. I will probably do one more between now and when I get on stage as my targets, if my targets get a little bit lower for what I do to manipulate a few things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment. But I will see you next time.